ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, and you are listening to Rabbit Troop Sucks.
Rabbit Troop Sucks. And what is your first note tonight?
My first note is we should introduce ourselves. And I'm pretty sure during Mike and I's last episode, we did not introduce ourselves until the very last moments. But since you are all clearly dutiful listeners, you know who we are. So why introduce ourselves? Again, we have our reoccurring guest, our first guest, and now our first reoccurring guest. And Mike did not tell me this. I was excited to have a guest the last time, and it is our friend Lamar. And I said, here's our long friend, Lamar Sutton. And no one said anything, and I meant long-time friend, but everyone just looked at me like, that's cool. So if you go back to listen to our episode of Ping Pong Summer, our long friend Lamar Sutton is back in the house. Welcome back, Lamar.
Thank you very much. I'm kind of long. I'm 6'2".
Okay.
Some people call me long and lanky, but I'm just happy to be back on the podcast. Thank you for having me again.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed the last episode that I was on, and you guys did an episode between these two. I'm looking forward to hearing that. But now we're here on how many episodes have you guys
I think this
done
is 6.
time?
This would be 6. Our last episode that you're looking forward to listening to was more of a precautionary tale on what you might expect if you see such a film. So real mood shift between Mike and I. But yeah, we're back. Actually, Lamar, we're back with this specific episode, Disorderlies from 1987, because you on the fly just suggested it, and we said, hell, let's just roll with it. And you're back, and we're going to review Disorderlies today.
I'm glad that I just came up with that out of nowhere. I think it's because the Fat Boys was on the soundtrack of Ping Pong Summer, and that just reminded me of this movie. They did 2 other movies as well, the Fat Boys. Out of those 3, I have not seen one of them. I have seen Crush Groove, which is probably one of their better movies. There's a whole lot of cameos in Crush Groove, but this is strictly just a Fat Boys movie.
Yeah, I think Crush Groove is a better movie because there's less Fat Boys.
That's true. It's more legitimate. This is more of a comedy, just straight up.
Yeah, I knew Crush Groove. What's the other movie?
I was looking it up online. I have not seen it before, although I've seen Crush Groove, and I probably should have seen this other movie too. I think it's something Nights. I should have my
I'm on
research machine out. Thank you, Mike.
You guys vamp. I'll look this up.
Nice.
But I think that was their first movie. It came out in 85, I want to say. This was 87, and Crush Groove was 86, I believe. So this is their 3rd movie in the series. And this is all just Fat Boys. There's a couple cameos in here, which I'll mention a little later, but it's pretty much all Fat Boys.
And it being super direct as it being all Fat Boys, the IMDb synopsis is also super direct. 3 bumbling orderlies are hired to take care of an old rich man. Humorous mayhem follows.
That's very accurate.
I like that you're evaluating yourself within your summary. Like, this movie is dark, gritty, and you will love it for all of these reasons. You will chuckle, my friend. You will get your money's worth.
After seeing this movie, I clearly agree that you don't need a lot of setup into it. You pretty much get exactly what it says.
Yeah, usually we all take a lot of notes. I actually was really confused for the first moment of the film just because it, shows Brooklyn, and then immediately it shows Palm Beach, Florida. And I even had to ask because I was taking all these notes, and really I wasn't missing anything. And I asked Mike, where are we now? And he told me. So we're immediately there, and we go to a mansion where, we're hanging out with some kind of man, and he looks kind of like the devil, and he looks very weaselly, and he's mincing around, and we find he's going to be the villain of the film, really trying to kill off some people. And the biggest mistake he ever did is he hired the Fat Boys, and yeah, he'll learn some lessons about that.
So, just to backtrack, Knights of the City, is this the other movie?
Yes.
Thank you. You've not seen this movie?
No, I haven't. I hear it's highly rated.
Okay. Have you seen the the poster for this movie?
I have not.
Okay, would you like to?
Yes.
Okay, because this is I'm gonna do a show and tell.
Well, we're clearly watching this
Yeah.
film. Why are we
How
not?
did this escape me?
So I think this is going to be more of a Crush Groove situation where the Fat Boys are featured as the Fat Boys.
Sure, that's fine.
Curtis Blow is also in this. There's a couple good cameos in here. Smokey Robinson is there.
Oh my God. There's a cameo in this film in Disorderlies that I did not know about until the end. So part of the mystery that is going to be revealed to me, Paul, is Lamar's going to tell me where Ray Parker Jr. makes an appearance in this, because at the end it was like featuring cast members. The Beach Boys are at the end. Yeah, that's right. Those Beach Boys. You know, Fat Boys, Beach Boys, all the boys make an appearance. And Ray Parker Jr., and I somehow totally missed this. I was actually bummed when I saw that.
I cheated a little with that. I
It's fine.
did a little research beforehand. I didn't watch the movie before you guys did. I've seen it in the past before, but in doing my research into going into this movie, I discovered that Ray Parker Jr. was in it, and it's literally, I want to say 1 second. You would not even notice
Hey,
it.
are you Ray Parker Jr.? Get away from me. That guy's in this
If
film.
I didn't see what part he played, I would have not have seen it. He was in and out in a flash.
Well, when we get there, you got to point this out.
I will, definitely.
So the setup is Weasel Guy and his friend, are mincing around, and it turns out Weasel Guy is in debt to this guy Louise, some kind of mobster, for $40,000, and he made some bets, and he lost on him. And it turns out that he's into it for a grand total of $640,000.
He should have negotiated a better interest rate.
I
'Cause I feel like that's aggressive.
Sure, I'm also wondering, why is he letting this guy bet continuously? Because they do note that he's on a string of bad bets, and Weasel Guy does highlight, or Winslow, who is Weasel Guy, does highlight that he has a disease. He doesn't want to be doing this, but he has to bet this money, and he will get it back to him. And the whole plot of this movie is he has a rich uncle, and he, for some reason, thinks he's going to inherit all his wealth, his gold, his riches. And don't think that I'm using gold as an exaggeration, because we'll totally get to that.
Yeah.
We see some Scrooge McDuck-like gold later in the film. But yeah.
He also seems to live with his uncle, and it's a nice house. It's not a bad house. It seems like he could just get the money if he needed it.
It seems like this guy shouldn't have bet at all, because this guy was living a real cush life. I mean, he's living with his uncle. He's clearly getting this catered food. Everything's super nice.
I don't know if he lives with his uncle. I just think he's just
always
there
around?
a lot. Yeah,
well,
just to make sure that he's dying on time and that he can get that inheritance.
like a Sixth Sense moment now for me. I'm like, that's kind of true. I can't prove to you that he does live there, but there are so many scenes where he is just drinking that guy's booze.
Well, he is always there. I thought the weird camera room with all the guns was his. I thought that was like his.
That might make sense, but what if it was just another room?
That's just the room that he's crashing.
That his uncle Dennison doesn't know about.
This house is very strange. It's filled with a lot of rooms of just weird stuff. There's a gun room that apparently leads to other secret chambers.
Just normal Miami rich guy shit.
I mean, come on. That was a prophecy into the future.
Okay.
Now everyone has a gun room.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by gun rooms.
Sponsorship opportunity, gun rooms. Yeah, so he's talking to the loan shark guy. He needs the money. And yeah, the plot is that he's gonna try to inherit this money. So we're introduced to the uncle. Or Randolph Duke is who the
Yep.
And he's poorly. He's in bad shape, and he's got these 3 orderlies, and they walk in to say hi, and he kind of has a little event. He starts coughing or whatever. The orderlies spring into action, and I don't know what they pat him on the back and give him a towel or whatever. And
It's not far off.
yeah, and then what's his name? Mincing blonde mustache guy. Winslow. He says, these orderlies are too damn good. I need the worst orderlies. And this is what sets up the trajectory of the movie. He's going to fire these qualified orderlies and find just the worst in hopes that they accidentally kill his uncle.
Yeah, so we're in Brooklyn, and this is why again I got confused. Like, why are we in Brooklyn? Why are we in Florida? And we see a newspaper that highlights that, this one place, this one retirement home has the worst orderlies. And he's like, well, clearly they just wrote this up in a newspaper, so I'm going to actually go find those guys and hire them. Like, sounds like a fantastic plan.
They must have been really bad orderlies if it made front page news all the way in Florida.
Yeah.
And there's cut scenes of them just being really disorderly in a retirement home that they're previously working in. In fact, there's a scene where they're clearly destroying a lot of cakes.
They're eating cakes.
Yeah. Destroying is kind of a weird adjective to use because they are physically double fisting cake and destroying it, but simultaneously put it in their mouths.
Yeah,
so they're consuming it simultaneously.
Cool and Marky are getting in on the cake. Buffy walks in, and Cool and Marky are like doing very sexual mouth things with the cake to get Buffy to eat the cake.
I was trying to find the right description of what they were doing to all these cakes that they had at this retirement home, but I think you guys nailed it right there.
So it was sexual cake.
So we're going to kind of skip for a second so I can answer something that some of you might be wondering about, like how many cakes. Well, we get to a scene where the retirement home owner comes out just yelling about the loss of cakes, and I really just had to highlight that he is missing 16 chocolate cakes. And I don't mean slices, and I don't mean, Hostess pie sized. I mean, they are pretty big cakes, and they're missing 16 chocolate cakes.
And this is just, if you're not familiar with the Fat Boys, these are just 3 fat boys.
Yeah.
They're really large, but they, like I said, destroyed these cakes two-handedly.
16 of them. And
Double
also
fisting, all that.
Not only did the boss specify the quantity of the cake, he also mentioned that it was the 3rd time this week. Yeah. I don't know if that means that if the 16 cakes were eaten incrementally over the week, or if they have eaten 48 cakes this week.
I could say in my heart it was in the day. That was just another instance of 16 cakes within the day. But this is actually one of my favorite moments of us being in a room and watching a movie together rather than separately. Because we instantaneously, the owner fires them all. You're fired. And you see that this weaselly guy, Winslow, is there. He's like, yes. And immediately we pan to the airport, and we're actually on an airplane, and Winslow is there, and all the fat boys are there, and their families are there. They're saying goodbye while on the airplane, 1987 style. That wouldn't fly either. And Mike says, wait, what's happening? Like, why are they here? And I was like, we got to talk about this. There's no introduction to Weasley guy and his plan. Just we're there to assume that they met, they were fired. This guy's offering a job. I'm going to ship you over to Florida. No problems. Here's my family. You're on a plane. Bing, bam, boom. We see none of that. We're just on an airplane.
I didn't even recognize that they were in Brooklyn at that point. Speaking of Brooklyn, Brooklyn Brewery Summer Ale is my drink of choice tonight.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's fine. It's easygoing, floral, and refreshing, according to the can. And it's the perfect cold one for a hot one.
It's a perfect, cold one while you're watching Disorderlies.
It was.
You just need to follow it up with like Gator beer or something.
Gator beer?
I mean, is that a thing?
Is that like Gatorade and beer?
Sure.
Oh, sure. I don't know about that. How many of those have you had?
This is my first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you really like it. You just brought that out of the
I just brought it. Yeah, it was just right here.
I like that.
The Brooklyn call out. Sponsorship opportunity, Brooklyn Brewery.
Or just Brooklyn. Brooklyn. If you want us to sponsor you,
right, the city of, or the borough. I don't know. Am I an idiot?
We're recording live from Denver, Colorado. But sometimes you might need a break to the city. Come to Brooklyn. There's things. I don't know what those things are.
We're not. Yeah, we're not there right now. But I'm sure it's great.
It's probably hot and humid.
Giuliani cleaned it up, I hear.
You boys made a comment about the jump cuts at this juncture. Especially with the fat boys meeting the old man and the Mr. Lowry, or I forget his name.
The old guy?
Yeah, or the
Dennison?
guy who's
Randolph
taking care
Duke.
of him.
Oh, okay.
I just have him as Mr. Lowry. He's taking care of him, but they really don't meet him. They just kind of appear on the plane.
Yeah.
And I know there's multiple jump cuts throughout the movie like that where
some of my
you just
favorite
don't understand a lot.
Some of my favorite jump cuts just lead to them dancing and singing. Like this movie became a musical. So
And the movie's pretty much riddled with those kind of jump cuts.
That's what you expect from a Fat Boys movie.
Yeah, so we get, everyone trying to get into a cab.
Yeah.
They're too large, so Cool has to sit in the trunk, and they
Right.
roll up to this huge mansion that's owned by Mr. Dennison, who will be taking care of.
There was a completely inconsequential scene where Marky Cat calls some ladies out of a window, gets arrested for some reason.
That's right.
And they have to like bribe the cops to get him out of prison. This is not a setup for anything. It just happens, and then they go on with their merry way. I think it's just a setup that like Miami be tripping or.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, he just yells out the window, and he's like, "These babes are cool," and he says something.
He's pretty much arrested for catcalling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
right.
nuts.
It's like, okay.
So yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, they get to the mansion that everyone lives in. I don't remember which fat boy said it, but it's like, this place is bigger than my school.
At this point in time, I really didn't know which fat boys which. They all kind of are just comically large.
They're they're bigger.
Doing fat boy stuff.
I got it down.
Yeah,
Buffy's wearing glasses to begin with.
Yeah.
Buffy's typically with Cool, and Marky's off doing other stuff. When we get to this mansion, we meet the butler. He makes it very clear there's only one rule: don't touch anything. And the first thing we see is Marky ogling one of the maids. One of the jokes. I said, don't touch anything. Bazing.
They also touch everything.
They do. And then we're introduced to my favorite side character, the robot pill machine.
Like the Simon game that dispenses medicine.
Yeah, this is done in the most awkward fashion. There's a chart on the wall of when to take pills. There's probably 50 different pills, all somewhat overlapping colors. Hey, this is how the pill machine works. No one's really listening to any of this at any point in time.
The most complicated medication chart and pill dispenser. It's like an electronic automatic pill dispenser that they have to program.
Yeah.
And this is the fat boys. They're trying to describe how to use this thing.
Yeah,
they're just like,
They're using like Star Trek words. He's like, well, when the deviation matrix reaches the flux point, you have to... And they're like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I think I wrote, ignore the quantity overdrive.
There you go.
Yeah, so, hey, that I don't even know why someone would build that. So that's going to be our heavy metal band, and that's where we're at on that.
That's a good name for it.
Then we get a hard cut to we're outside. The orderlies are hanging out. They're also, I guess, like staff butlers because they're checking out the food and doing whatnot. And Dennison is hanging out, and he's laying in, just some kind of sun chair. And
Mr. Dennison is the old guy that they're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he wants out of the chair. So they show us some kind of weird crane-like lift that they need to put him in by the pool and various other things.
It's straight up like for the car people out there. It's an engine hoist. It's like what you use to take an engine out of a car.
So that's what that's.
And
called.
they hook Randolph Duke up to it, and then the hilarity ensues.
It's the most complicated chairlift mechanism that they could have.
This is like a very thin, frail man.
Right, like this guy weighs 90 pounds.
He's
tops.
not one of the fat boys.
I don't know why. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish, but they were trying to get him out of his sun chair. So they hoist him up, and he starts spinning around. Somehow, everyone within a 20-foot radius is falling into the pool because of this.
This is where the comedic whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot of wacky whoa.
This is when the slapstick really starts to kick in, really.
And it's where the fat boys really show their acting chops.
Yeah, so now they're in some serious trouble. So everyone falls into the pool. The last one is Dennison. Oh no, he's in there, and he wants to fire everyone. So his weaselly nephew, Winslow, is like, no, give him one more chance. Wouldn't you give someone another chance? And he's trying to show this fake compassion. And Dennison says, okay, we'll keep him on. But Cool is not okay with this. Cool wants to bail. Cool's like, something's going on here. I need to get out. And they're like, fine, we're going to take you to the airport or wherever the hell he's going. And so while Dennison is asleep, I was writing some notes on this. He's just passed out. They throw him in the back seat of his car, and they're like, we're going to go on a joyride.
Why they brought him is unclear.
I thought they were just quitting at that point in time. I thought they just wanted to leave. Like, let's just quit.
But they got him.
I didn't know
them.
that they were taking him with them. Like,
so
Weekend at Bernie's style.
We don't know that that he's with them. So they make this decision, and then we cut to Weasley Bitch Boy filling up a needle with some kind of nondescript poison and sneaking through like a secret passage behind a painting into Randolph Duke's room. And he goes to inject him, and he does, but it's just like a pile of pillows, and he realizes that he's not there. Then we cut to the Rolls Royce being driven by the Fat Boys.
Wow, blaring. You would think hip hop? Mm-hmm. No, my friend. Bon Jovi's Edge of a Broken Heart. Didn't see it. Another Shyamalan twist.
Up until this moment, there was a lot of this rap background music playing, but then that just broke out while they were driving, and it's like, it brings it back down to earth.
Yeah.
Mike, what kind of car were they in? Do you know?
It was a Rolls Royce. Okay. I don't know the model.
So they're in this Rolls Royce, and then, they're like flashing it around, and, they see some ladies.
Yeah, they're picking up these girls.
Picking them up. Mm-hmm. And then that's when we fully see that Dennison is in the back seat, just passed out.
Right.
And the way they get out, the way they get around to it. So, a bunch of young guys, a bunch of young women. Who's this elderly man who's just passed out? And someone just goes, he's into drugs. Yeah. And they roll off with that. That's okay. All right, good times.
This is our friend Cool Al. He's into drugs.
And then we get to the funnest place of all. We get to the disco roller rink.
With a live band.
So maybe...
Well, there's a live woman singing.
Sure is. So imagine a huge roller rink, a woman wearing like half clothes. It's like half skin, half clothes, all in black, singing her song "Work Me Down, Comma Down," and it's, I think, Laura something.
I was into the song. This was a banger.
I was like
too.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it coming. It was super weird. Oh, it's Laura Hunter. And I just didn't see it coming because, we were just rolling around with Bon Jovi. Mm-hmm. There's weird scenes and then boom. But this is definitely more on par with the soundtrack for the rest of this film.
Yeah, and so now we have a little roller rink montage. They're taking Al. His name's Al. What's his name?
Albert.
They're taking Al around the roller rink in his wheelchair. His wheelchair, by the way, has tank treads, and it says, I think, "success" on the side. That's just a non sequitur. But he's having the time of his life. He's really enjoying it. He's hanging out with young ladies.
Yeah, and and as Mike noted, this song is playing through the montage. I wasn't trying to talk down to the song. It was just really weird because they walk into this place and it is just kicking. It is like, honestly, half concert venue, half roller rink. That was what I was
like. If that place was in Denver, I would lead you guys right now and go there. That would be better than this podcast.
Reminds me of the old Roller City here in Denver.
I never went to the old Roller City, but I don't know if it was closed before I got here. But if it's like that, fuck yeah, I'm in.
Felt like that. I feel like it was close.
This has been brought to you by the ghost of Roller City.
Is Roller City not a thing anymore?
If it is, then this is brought to you by the ghost of Roller City.
I think we already discussed this. It's run by ghosts. Like, come on, duh.
There you go.
I don't know if I'm in for that.
The people aren't alive. Come on.
R.I.P. Roller City.
Wow.
Okay. Great radio.
Talk about some ghosts, you get derailed quick.
That's the kind of...
D-Town is full of ghosts.
Yeah, we just up the street. There's a whole bunch of them. I'm not going to explain that. The montage concludes. We got the Disorderlies kind of wheeling Al back home.
We got to sneak back in.
We got to sneak back in.
See, this makes me think that Winslow does in fact live there because
he's there. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the thing is, as I said before, that's amazing if he's not, because if he's not living there, damn, he is always there.
He's taking it.
Always drinking that guy's booze.
Right. So he catches him kind of wheeling back in. He's like, "You guys, what are you doing? You ruined my night. I was worried sick." And Al says, "Chill out, Winslow. Later, step off, homeboy." So Al's catching up with the lingo. He's kind of being integrated into one of the Fat Boys.
He hangs out at a roller rink one night with the Fat Boys, and he's just laying this sling out. That's one hell of a night he had.
Yeah.
Life-changing.
It is life-changing. So once again, Winslow has decided that he can't wait for the Disorderlies to kill Al. So he tries to go stab him again with a needle, and he never preloads the needle. Every time he sneaks into the room, then he tries to draw poison from the little jar.
Yeah, it's also a stabbing motion too. It's really
Right.
nice to see a hypodermic needle just stabbed into something.
Right. Well, so like Winslow, pro tip: load the needle before you get into the room. It doesn't matter if there's air in it. You're trying to kill the guy. Just
Mike, he is meticulous. He wants to clean up.
He wants
brings
to-
a
he
little
wants to,
kit,
yeah.
dusts it off.
But fortunately for Al, Buffy, who is eating Folger's crystals out of the jar for some reason, walks in, and he doesn't catch him doing it because Winslow kind of tosses the needle out the door or the window,
and then we hear the dog.
and then we
yell.
hear the dog go bork, and yeah, everyone's fine except for the dog, because the next scene, quick cut, we're at a funeral, and I don't know if we're meant to think that it's Al. I don't know why we would, because clearly we didn't see anything happen to him, but it's a funeral for the dog,
and the dog is now fully stuffed.
Right,
It's
well-
been taxidermied.
Effectively what we're looking at is a very poor paper mache dog.
Yes.
that looks like some kind of angry Cujo monster.
This scene was so weird. I had to
It really
actually
was.
time it. It was 9 seconds of a dog funeral, apparently.
But unlike a lot of the other completely bonkers scenes in this movie, the dog actually makes several more appearances and is a crucial part of
that's
the rest
very
of this
true.
film. So I mean, there's foreshadowing.
Yeah,
here.
Mike was right too with the paper mache. I'm originally from Illinois. We had the smaller stores like Ben Franklin's. Did anyone have this? I think it was just in the more in the
I
Midwest.
grew up in the woods. We didn't have
So
stores.
Ben Franklin's was like, I don't know, kind of like a craft store and a little bit of a Target and stuff. And I feel that's where in '87, that's totally where you bought that. Like, here's my craft fake dog. Like, doesn't look real. No, and it was like some $5 like Halloween prop.
It sounds like a Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. So
Kind of.
yeah, it'd be like a very smaller version, much smaller version of Hobby Lobby.
All right.
Do these stores still exist?
I don't know.
Ben Franklin.
I think so.
I've never heard of this.
Neither have I.
Well, this has been brought to you by
Come on.
actively Ben Franklin or
hope.
the ghost of Ben Franklin. Whatever you want to pay us to say, we are going to help you in this situation.
And Ben Franklin, not the store, the person.
I feel that is every time I would go there, you would see like the crafty pipe cleaners that could bend around that were kind of fuzzy. And I always think of that store and the Elmer's rubber cement. I don't know why. That's right. That's the
So that's where you buy that stuff.
the hip place to go to sniff
it.
glue and clean your pipe.
Just to, good for a quick snack.
I haven't been to a craft store in ages, but yeah, they sell all that stuff there, don't they?
I guess.
Yeah. I have been to a craft store lately, and they do still sell that stuff. And only weirdos go there.
What are you doing at a craft? No, that's the story
This-
for another.
Yes, no, we don't need to talk about
This episode of Disorderlies has been brought to you by Blank Craft Store. Best in the world. Go see it. If you
love
wanna-
craft stores.
If you want us to fill in that blank, Venmo us money.
Okay, so
Dog's dead.
dog's dead.
Dog's dead.
Now we're playing cards with pills.
Now we're playing cards with pills. So
As one would.
the fat boys empty out the weird pill machine.
I'm gonna interrupt you here for a second here, and
Yeah.
just mention that they're ordering Domino's pizza for this little
They
party
are,
that
yeah.
they're gonna have a soiree
Tons
with.
of Domino's pizzas and Coca-Colas.
The guy who delivers the pizzas, he's on scene for 1 second. That is Ray Parker Jr.
Yes. yes.
Thank you.
He literally drops
yes.
off these pizzas, and he is off in a flash. You see him for approximately 0.5 seconds.
I bet if we went freeze frame, like just those milliseconds frame by frame, I bet the last freeze frame we would see is the director handing him a check. On the hand. Like,
you know what? You're right.
Like, there you go. There's the handoff.
You
You're
look
gonna deliver
closely,
these
you'll see
pizzas.
that scene.
Yeah, he busted in, handed off the pizzas.
But that's your Ray Parker Jr. cameo.
That's awesome,
appearance.
Lamar. Yes.
Yeah, good call.
Yes.
Yeah, so they have 8 pizzas between the 3 of them, and they're playing poker with using pills as poker chips.
And they basically just bumble it all. I mean, I actually felt that scene went on a little too long.
The scene went on for a weirdly long amount of time. The head butler knocks on the door. They freak out. They shuffle all the pills into a trash bag. And I don't know what they were. It was like some kind of weird scene where they couldn't just open the door and let him in. They had to like take out trash. And
I was like, oh, be there in a second. Oh no, oh, it's almost like if someone was like, put on my pants, gotta get out of here.
right. It's like they're all just cranking it in there. yeah, there's a weird amount of commotion. But so Marky leaves with the bags of pills, and he goes to throw them away, but he has to go across the goddamn house for some reason. He runs into the maid that he wants to bang. I don't know what her name is. He's like, hey, do you want to? He's pretty open with it. He's like, I don't remember what he said, but it was like, what do you say we go back to my room and do banging? And she's like, no, it's because you're fat, so you need to lose weight.
And gives him sprouts.
And gives him some sprouts. So he's all dejected, but he takes the sprouts and he goes back.
Oh, wait, no, she gave him the sprouts earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
It was sad.
Yeah, he was sad. So when they're eating the pizza, he's eating the sprouts and he's complaining that he's still hungry. But this kind of kicks off his health craze because he wants to get with the maid. Do we know what her name is yet?
I'm still looking.
It doesn't matter.
I don't think it does either.
But anyway, the whole point of this scene happening is that she throws the pills away and they get destroyed. So they're panicking. They don't know what to do because there's no pills. They got to give the old man his pills. The only note that I have is, will you guys stop illing? I don't know. I think that's something that...
Okay. So
I think it's something that Al said.
Yeah, to jump a little forward, basically all said and done, the pills are destroyed. It is Carla who throws them.
Yes.
She throws them away. They freak out, and they basically think this guy's going to die. So they're waiting, a little into the future. I mean, 5 hours, 6 hours. We see time lapsing a little bit.
Oh, that's right. And he's laying there in his bed. They can't wake him up.
They're like, oh my God, he's going to die. And then Winslow pops in. Like, oh my God, what's going on? They're like, oh no, we messed up. Like, I think he's going to die. And he thinks, oh, his uncle's going to die. He's going to inherit this money. Winslow is stoked. I think he tries to call someone, like a funeral home or something. He's like, it's finally happened. He's dead, but false. And I think that's...
Yeah, when he wakes up and everyone's freaking out, that's when he tells him to stop illing.
Hey, man. You gotta stop illing sometimes.
Yeah, so there's a doctor there now, and he's like, you know what? They nailed it. Like, their bumbling ways actually saved his life. He was over-medicated, so he's going to be great now. He's going to be, like, playing polo and golfing by tomorrow. And Winslow is not stoked about this.
No, it's the old man's recovering.
Yeah, he's
Winslow
getting better.
There's a montage scene of him plotting while Uncle Albert and the Fat Boys, they go out and play polo.
Yeah, they're playing polo. Then there's like an exercise montage.
There's a jogging scene, them swimming. So
I like the swimming scene because they're all wearing like scuba gear.
Oh yeah, totally forgot.
Yeah,
about that.
and wait, while they're playing polo, he's highlighting all the things that they're gonna do because one of them comes true at the very end. He's like, "We're gonna go skeet shooting. We're gonna go kayaking or something like that. We're gonna go on safari hunts." So, is any of that gonna come to pass? And then, Winslow's really ticked off about all this.
Yeah.
I feel a large part about this whole montage is Albert is getting into shape, and so is the slimmer fat boy who's getting into shape, who wants to bang Marky, who wants to bang this maid. So it's working out both ways. So they're
everyone's
developing
winning,
a rapport.
They're having the time of their lives.
Boy.
I like Dennison is also trying to get into it. He's back in it, and he's like, I don't need any of these pills. So they show him jogging, and the song that's playing is "Fat Off My Back" by Gwen Guthrie. And that one was kind of fun for me. It is just like, it sounded like someone playing electronic drums that were made out of porcelain tea kettles. The clink, clink, clonk, clink, 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 clonk. And then
accurate,
and all the lyrics were like, "Fat off my back."
Right on.
I was in for it.
Yeah.
Then this is when we're introduced to our favorite location, the gun wall.
Yeah, so the Fat Boys, I wrote down that they snuck into the blonde bitch's room. Winslow.
I have kind of the same.
But now maybe it's not Winslow's room, but
they're in a room that Winslow is often in.
The room that Winslow hangs out in.
Let's say Winslow's office, to say the least.
And there's kind of fake walls, and there's this cabinet full of guns, and they stumble upon a camcorder and like this wall of monitors and video equipment behind some motorized doors. So what do? Because they're the Fat Boys, they of course immediately make a music video.
So they start singing and dancing to "Baby You're a Rich Man."
Yeah, it's a song about being rich.
So
Good song.
again,
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I want to give the full description of this. Imagine you find a wall of guns, you accidentally hit it the wrong way with your shoulder or whatever. It goes up and then reveals that there's all these cameras, but somehow there's just a camcorder that magically pops out on a tripod loaded with a VHS tape. They hit record, and now all of a sudden it's recording from all different angles their entire music video. The next 4 minutes of this movie is straight up a music video. And they then later show it, which I do love. And just to cut to the chase, and we need to get there, but when it's eventually shown, it is Marky hanging out with Carla. I think that's in my notes.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey,
watching it.
and they're like, look at this video. But in reality, where did this music come from? It would really just be three dudes dancing in a room. And then you're showing that to someone like, hey, my friends got together last Saturday and we just started dancing in this room. And she's giving the thumbs up, like, this is amazing, like, good stuff. Like, you're going to get a record contract. We'll get to that, but that is the conclusion of that video.
Yeah, so it's the musical analog of basically this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, maybe next time Lamar's on, we just coordinate some music and dancing.
Let's have a camera rolling. Honestly,
a lot of podcasts do it. You could just tune in for some live or feed, and it's just three guys dancing in a room.
So, do podcasts really have video?
Yeah.
At that point, is it a podcast or is that
they're
just
simulcasting, so they have a
Jesus Christ.
podcast and video components, but not all the time. But you better tune in.
Okay,
We're never gonna do that.
But that's effectively just a television show now.
You could do whatever you want. It's all of those things.
Okay.
It's social media. It's in you. It's in your mail. It's on your TV. It's on your phone. It's whatever
God.
you want.
I'm getting rid of my phone. Okay, so where the fuck are we in this movie?
Oh, let's see what we got.
Oh no, they're making a music video, and somehow they knock the power out. Do they blow a fuse or something? Because the power goes out.
I didn't see
But
that happen,
but when everything starts, just know the video recorder never stops recording.
That's correct.
So, and which is also weird when they're eventually just watching the music video. But that's a continuity issue that someone else could.
That's not.
I didn't catch that. Okay.
But so but the power did go out, and then it came back on because someone fixed it. And blonde bitch calls the gangster and says, "I'm going to have your money tomorrow," which is not really explained in any way.
But that is being recorded on this video.
But it's being recorded on the
video. It's like, I'm
tape.
finally going to do it. Like, I have this thing, like, meet me here or whatever, and the thing is still going.
Right. So then, next hard cut, we have Cool and Buffy are sitting on top of a brick wall.
Yeah, so I didn't know, are they looking at a neighbor's house, or is this the staff at their place?
I think it's a neighbor's house.
I just didn't know.
I thought it was their house, and they just had, like, just random naked bitches.
Well, yeah, because there were naked bitches in the pool, but I feel like, because they get the police called on them, but I feel like if the women were very alarmed that there were people sitting on a wall looking at them, and I feel like if it was the house that they lived in and it was the staff, they'd be like, get off the fucking wall and stop looking at my goddamn bush.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah, so these women are just immediately naked and having fun up and down.
Yeah, it's just like naked
and,
pool frolicking.
And just like, hee, ha, ha, ha.
As one does when you have a pool.
Sure.
What was the rating on this film? Now that
it has to be R. I mean, but could it magically be that PG-13 80s situation?
Like, there's very little profanity. Like,
this movie is PG.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's bare ass, and there's
You can
say multiple F-bombs drop, but
there's profanity. Like there are, you can see breasts and bush in this movie.
Well, it's an 80s.
It's
R.
80s bush, yeah. So like,
it's PG.
I thought it would have been R for that reason. Oh my god, I cannot believe this movie is PG.
So it's good for the whole family. You can take
Paul,
your
you
kids
go
to
back
this.
and you watch this movie and you would say, nah, this is tame.
So
It's
for those
not
of you
good.
who have children, like 7 or 10 is a fine time to introduce them.
Well, side note, I am 90% sure the situation of me originally seeing this is my brother, who is older than I, went to whatever local video rental store. This was not Blockbuster. We did not have access to a Blockbuster at this point in time.
Right.
This is when I was living in a different state. And we like the local, probably maybe even, a side part of a grocery store. And my brother's like, let's rent this movie. And I'm pretty sure this is how we saw it. He's like, we're going to watch Disorderlies. And
that's where you would find this movie in
Yes.
one of those hole in the wall little video rentals that were before.
So that was probably it. Like, hey, mom, like, we're gonna rent this movie. It's PG. It's the Disorderlies. It's the Fat Boy. It's like, PG. That's good natured. That's great. Like, what is this? It's just a slapstick comedy. And my mom's right, great. And these are the delinquents we grew up to become. And I blame the Disorderlies, and you'll see me in court. But yeah, also simultaneously while this is all happening, going back, so a bunch of naked women are running around. They're like, oh no, call the cops. And now two of the Fat Boys are trying to sneak back in, while simultaneously who Winslow called was a bunch of assassin goon hitmen who have now snuck in, and they're going to off him.
Yeah, I didn't fully understand.
So so Winslow calls, these people show up, they come through some kind of weird like wine cellar cave, and through all this Dennison is sitting in a chair listening to rap now. He's totally into it, bobbing his head. You could hear the rap from the headphones.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no. So the cops come because they're also called, and they think the Fat Boys are breaking in. So the actual criminals take one shot, miss Dennison, and they run off. But the cops come in, see that a shot was taken. They're like, it could have been them. We're taking them down to jail for questioning. Marky is okay because Marky's like, I was just in this, room making out with my girlfriend.
Yeah, this is the scene where Marky is introducing Carla to the music video that they shot earlier.
Yes.
And the rest of everyone is just like Scooby-Dooing around the house. It's like cops and the other two Fat Boys like running in and out of doors.
That's why they were arrested. See,
yeah,
there's so much slapstick going on.
There was
I
a
thought
lot
they were
of
just
slapstick.
being arrested just for like watching Skinny Dippers.
So remember the cops were like, well, it could have been them, and then Manuel, who is Weasel guy, Winslow's like right hand man, he's like, I don't want to say anything, but we've noticed some things missing from the house, and the cops immediately go in and they bring out just two like comically, sized suitcases, and they're like
they're
hobo
Fat Boy sized suitcases.
Yeah, and then they open it up, and Mr. Dennison goes, "That's my trophy." So it's a trophy.
Right. It's like his football trophy.
It's
from
gold, but it's a trophy. Like
Right.
it's clearly not really gold. I guess because I'll be Scrooge McDuck later here in this podcast. But the second briefcase just has, they open it they unfold a shirt and then another shirt, and then there's in the middle of the suitcase is a nicely presented handgun.
Yeah, this little gun right there,
Yeah, so someone did an impromptu frame up. Just like there was no mention of framing them, I don't believe.
Yeah, no, it just kind of worked out to the film's favor.
They saw the opportunity and they took it.
You would understand the context if you saw it. They just unraveled.
And you should see it.
Would you? Because I don't know that I did. But you definitely should see it. We'll talk about whether or not you should see it later. But the answer is you should see it.
I did make a side note that when they do find this VHS, it is a Scotch VHS.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's super iconic. If you just saw it, it was like one of the 5 most dominant VHS things that someone's like, I bought a VHS and I record things. I'm like, you have 4 of them? Wow.
Yes. VHS tapes.
Those are terrible times.
They're great times. Come on.
But yeah, now we're at jail, and it's Cool and Buffy hanging out at jail, and an officer comes in demanding a confession. Like you're gonna give it to him, just demanding it.
Yeah, and they say if you don't, you'll have to take the Florida lie detector.
Yeah,
which turns out to be a very large man with a baseball bat.
Yeah, it is. So if you don't tell us the truth, we're gonna give you the Florida lie detector. What does that mean? What's that? And I wrote exactly what it is. It's a 300-pound white man with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And it is.
It is.
And in all of this, before we got to the jail, if I skipped it over, is they do find out. They do revisit the VHS tape, and they're like, "Oh my God!" It's a Weasley guy, and Marky takes it and trips over a rug and throws it into a fireplace. So
he trips over the dog.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the stuffed dog.
Yeah.
And throws it in the fireplace. Then we get to jail, and now they're demanding. They tell the truth.
They do tell the truth. So now my notes are kind of jumbled here. I feel like that is my catchphrase because I say it every goddamn episode. Blah, blah, blah. Some things happen. The blonde bitch and the goons now have Duke the maid and Marky kind of tied up.
While simultaneously, Cool and what's the other guy's name?
Not Marky.
Buffy.
Yeah, Buffy.
Cool and Buffy.
Yeah, Cool and Buffy are in the back of this guy's cop car, the Florida lie detector. And I like that he immediately, they start talking. He just goes, "Shut your fat, ugly face."
So I really like the scene because they're in the back of the cop car, and they're trying to decide how to handle the situation. And for some reason, so they're in the back of a police car and they are sitting next to, I guess, someone's dry cleaning, which is just hanging in the back of this police car.
That's where you keep it.
Yeah, because this is the best MacGyver moment you're gonna get.
Right. Well,
in a lot of 80s films.
So Buffy looks over at the clothes and they zoom in on the hanger and he looks over at Cool and they have like this moment of knowing. And in my mind, as a viewer, I thought they're going to use the coat hanger to pick their handcuffs.
Yeah, I thought that too.
I also thought that.
But they do not do that. They use the hanger to create a series of Rube Goldberg contraptions, which they use to take control of the car.
Yeah, Cool becomes a genius.
Right, like
just a Leonardo da Vinci of men.
So he slides a hanger under the seat and he accelerates the car into another car and they force an accident and then both of them team up and they're driving the car like it's a fucking marionette with a series of bent coat hangers. They're steering it. They're changing gears.
I thought it was just Buffy using the coat hangers, which makes it more awesome because it's just one guy.
Yeah,
who's maneuvering this car with two coat hangers.
Yeah, he's got it down. He's done this before, and he mentioned something like, "I'm going to show you my Brooklyn style." I don't remember exactly what the line.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
So
I totally believe it.
So while this is happening, old Winslow is trying to crack open his uncle's safe, and he successfully does it at this point in time. And when it opens, it is full of stacks of cash, but more than anything, gold bars aplenty.
Yeah.
It is a mini Scrooge McDuck warehouse of just gold. There's gold statues. There's gold vases.
Right.
There's gold pottery. I don't know what's going on.
We have like a Indiana Jones top men closet of gold treasures.
And then they're like, yay! And they come up with this plan that, they're going to get rid of it and Louise will have some of it and he'll be paid back, but he'll give, Winslow the rest. And that this guy, Louise, isn't going to give it to him. But then immediately we're back with Cool and Buffy. And somehow they're dressed up like cops. I wrote and said, where did they get the disguises?
That was the dry cleaning that was in the back of the car.
That's the magic.
Yeah.
Okay, good call.
But somehow they had gigantic fat boy sized police uniforms in the back of this.
I mean, they're stretchable.
It was
spandex.
It was the Husky Lads police laundry run.
I didn't know if you knew this. In the 80s, all police outfits were made out of spandex just to make it a little breathable, and they also helped fighting crocodiles.
This is like a Reno 911 thing or something.
It's anything you want it to be.
Probably. Or standard size police uniforms, seeing how large some of them are.
That's fair.
That is fair. Oh boy. Whoa, baby boy. Okay. So the Cool and Buffy are dressed as cops, and they get back to the mansion, and they're going to try to save things, do whatever. I don't fully understand what's happening in the scene.
They commandeer a car to get back, which is nice.
They do commandeer a car to get back. But once they get into the house, they're trying to hide in a closet for some reason. I don't understand why they get to the house and they're trying to hide.
So they get into the house, and I think they realize there's other people. So they walk into this huge pantry, and they're like, I'm going to eat some Oreos. So
yeah, they did beeline for the Oreos.
There's a lot of distractions going on.
But then they one of them stepped on some super glue because that was there. And then we have the classic everything gets stuck to them gag.
And we also see that Dennison is in another room surrounded by explosives, just boxes labeled explosives. And there's a huge fuse leading out of the room.
Their plan is to just blow the place up, to kill everyone involved. And I think he's intending that people will think that all of the money got blown up as well.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's going for.
Mm-hmm. After taking their share, I think.
Yeah, he's going to take their share, and he just wants everyone to think that the money and the trophies or whatever and all the gold bars just got blown up, because I'm sure that's what would happen.
And then they run into the goons, and then there's some comical fight, scenes, fighting them off, etc. But they do get to light the fuse off. So now I believe it is Buffy and Cool are running, and they're trying to get to the fuse. It's kind of comical. They're like running. I wrote that it's like a scene right out of like an Acme chase scene of like the Acme Explosives and Warner Brothers. They're running through this. They're not going to get to the fuse on time. it wraps around a pool. So their plan is they both jump into the pool and they're like, cannonball, and then they splash all the water onto the fuse and it goes out. And they're like, we got to get out of here.
It buys them enough time for the bigger explosion later
Yeah,
on.
Right.
I was taking notes, so I actually don't know how the bigger explosion happens.
Well, the fuse just started again. Like it went
Okay,
off.
so it didn't like jump or anything?
No, it went off enough for them to get like, Al and Frankie and the Carla out of there.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I mean, this is going to be a first for this podcast.
Oh, wow.
Rabbit Troop Sucks is not brought to you by Acme Explosive and Fuses. I mean, I've seen enough how it goes wrong for, the Roadrunner, and I've seen how it goes wrong for these villains. These people invested in your company, and they want quality products, and it's not our place to question what they use them for, so shame on you.
Yeah, no,
shame on you.
Rabbit Troop Sucks implores you, if you're trying to blow up rich people to steal their money, use a high quality.
My father would definitely highlight that you write the Better Business Bureau, that this is just a bunch of scam artists, taking your money and giving you inferior products.
I'm sure he has a Consumer Reports we can borrow that covers this extensively.
I'm gonna write them.
Yeah, could you? Okay, so. Good God.
To be fair, this explosion did go off.
The explosion did go off, but everyone's
not on time.
Not on time. Everyone's escaped by then. But now we see Winslow.
Yeah, Winslow.
Winslow.
Well, Winslow comes up with this brilliant plan.
Right.
This is my favorite plan of the film.
He wants someone to shoot him in the ass.
He's like, if you shoot me, I will go down as a hero, and the cops will be like, I tried to fight off these villains, but they, killed everyone, including my poor uncle, and, oh, woe is me. And Louise, who is never like this guy's like, I'll shoot him. I will shoot him right now.
Louise pulls out like a gigantic hand cannon. It's like, I'm going to shoot you right in the fucking face.
I thought they just wanted to shoot him in the butt just to make the story
wanted
more
that.
plausible.
That's what he wanted.
More okay.
But then his little sidekick was like, use my Derringer or whatever. So and this plays out, and he gets shot in the ass, and he's unhappy about it. But at this point, the entirety of the Fat Boys plus Carla and Al have
all kind of escaped from like a back room.
They've
They're almost
all
on
escaped,
like a almost balcony.
Right, and they're watching this happen, and they are just clowning on him and laughing because they're loving him getting shot in the ass.
So Louise shoots him and he drives off, and then immediately we hear all the police sirens. They're not going anywhere. The cops are coming. They've been called, and now I've likened them to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Now that we've got all of it, we got the older man, we've got Carla, we've got this girl named Lily that comes into play for 1 second at the end. All these people. They're all laughing and joking, so I keep referencing them as the gang is all laughing and the gang does this because because we're about to get to the last kind of technical moment of the film.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're like, ha ha ha. We see Winslow. He drops to the floor crying because he knows he's going to prison, and the gang all high fives, and in midair they high five and freeze frame.
Freeze frame high
literally
five.
says in yellow letters, the end. And that is the end of Disorderlies. You think. But then we get an epilogue. We find out that Louise and Winslow do years in jail, and because of other circumstances, they get even more. Cool. I don't know. He goes into something. I can't really.
I didn't take notes at this point. I was done.
Buffy becomes a heart surgeon. I saw that, and
remember that,
and so on. And then they do highlight that over the years they've done many, many things.
Marky becomes a sex therapist.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, we find out they do many things and go on to many richer and greater things, in spirit and in life. But they always get together yearly for that yearly safari, and it comes back full circle.
Right, and then we see the Fat Boys going into I think a 7-Eleven, all dressed in like weird like Doctari outfits.
Yep.
One of them is carrying a bow and arrow for some reason. And they encounter the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Like the actual
full-on Beach Boys.
The actual band, the Beach Boys. The Beach Boys, they did have a team-up song. I don't remember what song it was, but there was a Fat Boys ex-Beach Boys collab in this movie.
I can't even imagine.
I don't remember what song it was. But
And
I'm sure
what was the song they sang before in the movie when they were doing it?
I don't know.
Something about money.
Like the music video song?
Yeah, because we're treated to this at the end. I'm trying to find out quickly what it was, but
okay.
We're treated at the end to it's Big Money.
Big Money.
It's at the end.
Oh, yes.
So Big Money, we straight up are given, a full-on music video again, and they're in front of a huge blue screen singing Big Money. And I think this goes to the runtime, too. I noted that this movie is an hour and 26 minutes, and I often think were some of these videos a little more filler. Because I understand that, you're a music group or you're a music act, whatever you're in, a band, whatever, you're going to play your songs. But some of these scenes are straight up their entire song, start to finish. It's not part of their song or 30 seconds or a montage. It's, hey, we found a video camcorder. Let's make a 4-minute song.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these songs are fucking dope, so it's fine.
It is good.
Like, yeah, they made a movie that ended up being like 38 minutes, and they went, guys, we need to fill this out. so then they started recording songs.
So this 3-minute Fat Boys video in this movie, that's all there is to it. I mean, there's no other long songs in this movie at all.
No, but we're better for it.
So how does everyone feel now that we've gone through? Lamar, this was your choice to watch it, and now that you've seen it numerous times, but most recently, I don't think Mike and I have watched this for at least a decade, but I know we've all seen it.
I've seen this movie twice. Once was tonight with you guys, and the first time was,
10, 12 years ago?
At least 10, 12 years ago.
I mean, I'm not to put words in Lamar's mouth, but I'm voting that we become the 10-year Disorderly Club.
Yeah.
That's a good name for it.
This also, and this will make no sense to any of you listeners, and I recognize that this is making for amazing radio for you. One of our proposed band names in the past, the Whiskey CSI, came from someone who was watching this movie with us the first time.
You got a whiskey CSI sometimes. Lamar, what did you think?
Yeah.
Movie's good. It actually gets better every time I watch it because I can pay attention to more things. Not that the Fat Boys comedy is subtle.
No, it's on the nose.
It's Three Stooges level. There's some slap scenes that are straight out of a Three Stooges movie.
Yeah, there are. And I this hasn't been mentioned. There are a lot of cartoon sound effects.
Sound effects that are Hanna-Barbera level.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel like this movie actually could have been animated as well. Today, it probably would have. I mean, you wouldn't have someone this obese be in a movie and laugh at it in the same way. I think a lot has changed with the way we view obesity. We can laugh at it now. I mean,
I'm telling you right now, if this movie wasn't remotely close was to be made again, there's no way in hell this would be PG. PG.
Oh yeah, this is an R movie these days. And also, Lamar, you mentioned that you referenced Marky as being the less fat boy.
Yeah.
Like in today's world, I don't think Marky would really be considered fat. He's just kind of like
he does seem normal.
He's just kind of like a bigger guy.
I picture him as the normal. It's sad to say it, but he's
right,
like the normal-looking guy today. The other two are clearly a little.
Yeah, like Buffy was big, and also we also haven't addressed this. 2 out of the 3 Fat Boys are no longer alive.
That's very true.
Buffy passed away sadly a long time ago in the 90s, like not long after this movie came out. Marky last year actually.
Did anyone look up what this director Michael Schultz has done outside of this?
Do you want me to do that right now while you guys talk about something?
Crush Groove. I know that.
Did he? That makes a lot of sense.
Another famous movie I'm trying to think of.
What was the Knights movie that you showed us before?
I don't know. I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah, because we definitely need to put that on the list of future movies to watch.
Okay, so let's see. Oh my God, this guy's done a bajillion things. Michael Schultz, the director, known for Cooley High,
Car Wash.
Car Wash.
Oh,
yeah, that's the other one I was thinking of.
Crush Groove. Oh my God, The Last Dragon.
Oh shit, he did The Last
He
Dragon.
did do that, yeah.
Or Bruce Leroy.
Yep.
I can think of a guest too we could have.
I would 100% watch The Last Dragon as one of these films.
Yeah.
You know who our fourth guest
Of course I
has
do.
to
That,
be.
yeah, 100%.
Well, we'll try to make that happen one day in our lifetime.
That's going to be a hard track down.
Hey,
Yeah,
you could actually zoom in.
that's true.
He
Nice.
could, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a conch shell we can blow to get him out here? I don't know how you contact Lucor these days. Yeah, he's done a bunch of stuff. A lot of it looks pretty shitty.
Shitty but good.
Yeah, shitty but good.
Well, Lamar, it was great to have you on again as our long friend. It's just it's always
It's a long friend.
a pleasure.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. This is another fun week. I enjoy this.
Yeah, Lamar.
Glad you guys are doing this.
Anytime you want to stop by, you are always welcome as a guest. Mike, any final words about Disorderlies?
No, I think you should. I think everyone should watch this movie.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, if you like '80s hip hop in any capacity, I mean, this movie is objectively not good, but it's kind of a fun, like, just bonkers.
If you just like to see just fat people fucking around.
If you know who the Fat Boys are and you haven't seen this movie,
oh yeah, that's
true.
Then
you should definitely
you
see
should
it.
watch
Yeah.
this.
Oh, definitely.
Well, as always, you could hit us up at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com or go directly to rabbittroopsucks.com. Next time around, we're going to have a more recent film, An Evening with Beverly Luff Lynn. So if you would like to have an evening with Beverly Luff Lynn and Rabbit Troop Sucks, we can make all of your wishes come true. Like a weirdo. Take that.
yeah,
I really look forward to actually going over that. So
I do as well. That's a fun.
no one's gonna see it coming.
Yeah, that's because no one has seen that movie.
That's unfortunate. They should.
It is unfortunate.
Well, as always, Rabbit Troop Sucks.
Rabbit Troop Sucks.
Take care, guys.